Om Sairam, Sri Sairam, Jai Jai Sairam. Chapter 5, Part 1. In this chapter, we'll see about Baba's return with Chand Patel's marriage party, welcomed and addressed as Sai, contact with other saints, his attire and daily routine, and the story of the Padukas. Return with Chand Patel's marriage party. As hinted in the last chapter, I shall now describe first how Sai Baba returned to Shirdi after his disappearance. There lived in the Aurangabad district in the village called Dub a well-to-do Mohammedan gentleman by name Chand Patel. While he was making a trip to Aurangabad, he lost his mare. For 2 long months he made a diligent search but could get no trace of the lost mare. After being disappointed, he returned from the Aurangabad with a saddle on his back. After travelling 4 kilometers and a half, he came on the way to a mango tree under the foot of which sat a fakir. He had a cap on his head, wore kafni and had a satka under his arm, and he was preparing to smoke a chilim, that is pipe. On seeing Chand Patel pass by the way, he called out to him and asked him to have a smoke and to rest a little. The queer fellow or fakir asked him about the saddle. Chand Patel replied that it was of his mare, which was lost some time back. The fakir asked him to make a search in the nala close by. He went, and the wonder of wonders, he found the mare there. He thought that this fakir was not an ordinary man but an Avelia, that is a great saint. He returned to the fakir with the same. The chilim was ready for being smoked, but 2 things were wanting. First one, fire to light the pipe, and the second, water to wet the chapi. The fakir took his prong and thrust it forcibly into the ground, and out came a live ember which he put on the pipe. Then he dashed the satka on the ground, from where water began to ooze. The chapi was wetted with the water, then wrung out and wrapped round the pipe. Thus everything became complete. The fakir smoked the chilim and then gave it also to Chand Patel. On seeing all this, Chand Patel was wonderstruck. He requested the fakir to come to his home and accept his hospitality. Next day he went to Patel's house and stayed there for some time. Patel was a village officer of Dub. His wife's brother's son was to be married and the bride was from Shirdi. So Patel made preparations to start for Shirdi for the marriage. The fakir also accompanied the marriage party. The marriage went off without any hitch. The party returned to Dub, except the fakir who stayed back in Shirdi and remained there forever. How the fakir got the name Sai. When the marriage party came to Shirdi, it alighted at the foot of a banyan tree at Bhagat Mahalspadi's field near Kandoba's temple. The cart were loosened in the open courtyard of Kandoba's temple, and the members of the party descended one by one, and the fakir also got down. Bhagat Mahalspadi saw the young fakir getting down and accosted him, Ya Sai, that is, welcome Sai. Others also addressed him as Sai, and thenceforth he became Sai Baba. Contact with other saints. Sai Baba began to stay in the deserted masjid. One saint named Devidas was living in Shirdi for many years before Baba came there. Baba liked his company. He stayed with him in the Maruti temple in the Chavdi and sometime lived alone. Then came another saint by name Janakidas. Baba spent most of his time in talking with him, or Janakidas went to Baba's residence. So also one Vaishya householder saint from Pultambe by name Gangagir always frequented Shirdi. When he first saw Sai Baba carrying pitchers of water in both hands for watering the garden, he was amazed and said openly, Blessed is Shirdi, that it got this precious jewel. This man is carrying water today, but he is not an ordinary fellow. As this land was fortunate and meritorious, it secured this jewel. So also one famous saint by name Anand Nath of Yevala Math, a disciple of Akalkot Maharaja, came to Shirdi with some people. When he saw Sai Baba, he said openly, This is a precious diamond in reality. Though he who looks like an ordinary man, he is not a gar, that is ordinary stone, but a diamond, who will realize this in the near future. Saying this, he returned to Yevala. This was said while Sai Baba was a youngster. Baba's dress and daily routine. In his young days, Sai Baba grew hair on his head, never had his head shaved. He dressed like an athlete. When he went to Rahatha, he brought here with him small plants of marigold, jai, and jui, and after cleaning, he planted and watered them. A devotee by name Vaman Tatya supplied him daily with 2 unbaked earthen pitchers. With these, Baba himself used to water the plants. He drew water from the well and carried the pitchers on his shoulders. In the evening, the pitchers were kept on the foot of the neem tree. As soon as they were placed there, they were broken as they were made of raw earth and not baked. Next day, Tatya supplied 2 fresh pitchers. This course went on for 3 years, and with Sai Baba's toil and effort, there grew a garden. On this site at present stands the big mansion Samadhi Mandir of Baba, which is now frequented and used by so many devotees. The story of Padukas under the neem tree. A devotee of Akalkot Maharaj by name Bhai Krishnaji Alibekar worshipped the photo of Akalkot Maharaj. He once thought of going to Akalkot, take the darshan of the Padukas of the Maharaj and offer his sincere prayer there, but before he could go there, he got a vision in his dream. Akalkot Maharaj appeared in his vision and said to him, "Now Shirdi is my resting place. Go there and offer your worship." So boy changed his plan and came to Shirdi, worshipped Baba, stayed there for 6 months and was happy. As a reminiscence of this vision, etc., he prepared the Padukas and installed them on an auspicious day of Shravan Shaka 1834. That is 1912 AD, under the neem tree with due ceremonies and formalities conducted by Dada Kelkar and Upasani. One Dikshit Brahmin was appointed for worship and the management was entrusted to devotee Sagun. Complete version of the story. Mr. B.V. Dev, retired Mamlatdar of Thana and a great devotee of Sai Baba, made enquiries about this matter with Sagun Meru Nayak and Govind Kamlakar Dikshit, and has published a full version of the Padukas in Sai Leela, Volume 2, Number 1, page 25. It runs as follows. In 1934 Shaka, that is 1912 AD, one Dr. Ramrao Kothari of Mumbai came to Shirdi for Baba's darshan. His compounder and his friend Bhai Krishnaji Alibekar accompanied him. The compounder and Bhai became intimate with Sagun Meru Nayak and G.K. Dikshit. While discussing things, these persons thought that there must be some memorial of Sai Baba's first advent at Shirdi and sitting under the holy neem tree. They thought of installing Baba's Padukas there and were going to make them of some rough stone. Then Bhai's friend, the compounder, suggested that if this matter was made known to his master, Dr. Ramrao Kothari, he would prepare nice Padukas for this purpose. All liked this proposal and Dr. Kothari was informed of it. He came to Shirdi and drew a plan of the Padukas. He went to Upasani Maharaj in Kandoba's temple and showed him his plan. The latter made many improvements, drew lotus flowers, conch, disc, mace, etc., and suggested that the following sloka, verse regarding neem tree's greatness and Baba's yogic powers be inscribed. The verse was as follows. Sada nimba vrikshasya mooladivyasat sudastravinam tiktamapya priyam tam tarum kalpa vrikshadikam sadayantam Namamishwaram Sadgurum Sainatham. Upasani's suggestions were accepted and carried out. The Padukas were made in Mumbai and sent to Shirdi with compounder. Baba said that they should be installed on the Purnima 15th of Shravan. On that day at 11 a.m., G.K. Dikshit brought them on his head from Kandoba's temple to the Dwaraka Mai in a procession. Baba touched the Padukas, saying that these are the feet of the Lord, and asked people to install them under the foot of the neem tree. A day before, one Parsi devotee of Mumbai named Pasta Sheth sent rupees 25 by money order. Baba gave the sum for the installation of the Padukas. The total expense of installation came up to rupees 100, out of which rupees 75 were collected by subscriptions. For the first 5 years, G.K. Dixit worshipped the Patakas daily, and then this was done by Lakshman Kacheshwar Jakadi. In the first 5 years, Dr. Kothari sent ₹2 per month for lighting lamp, and he also sent the railing round the Patakas. The expense of bringing the railing from the station of Shirdi, ₹7 to 8, presently ₹750, and roofing was paid by Shagun Meru Naik. Now Jakadi Nana Pujari does the worship, and Sagun Meru Naik offers the Naivedya and lights the evening lamps. Bhai Krishnaji was originally a devotee of Akkalkot Maharaj. He had come to Shirdi at the installation of the Patakas in Shaka 1834, on his way to Akkalkot. He wanted to go to Akkalkot after taking the darshan of Baba. He asked Baba permission for this. Baba said, "Oh, what is there in Akkalkot? Why do you go there? The Maharaj of that place is here myself." Hearing this, Bhai did not go to Akkalkot. He came to Shirdi off and on after the installation of the Patakas. Mr. B.V. Dev concluded that Hemant Pant did not know these details. Had he known them, he would not have failed to depict them in this Sai Charitra. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace to be all. Thank you.